Good evening. Welcome to the Yorkton News at 5. Regina police have charged a 33-year-old woman with first-degree murder in the city's first homicide of the year. During the early morning hours on January 19th, police attempted a traffic stop near Sass Drive on Albert Street. The vehicle fled and was found abandoned on the 1400 block of Princess Street. A search of the vehicle found the body of 56-year-old Michael Ross. Now, the investigation did lead police to a residence on a 3700 block of Dutney Avenue. Last night, 33-year-old Shyla Kiwatan was arrested and charged with murder and indignity to a dead body. Two others have been charged with accessory after the fact of murder. Kiwatan's first court appearance was this afternoon. A man who pleaded guilty in the murder of his wife prior to a retrial is hearing arguments regarding his parole today. Jason McKay was first convicted of second-degree murder in 2020 for killing his wife Jenny in 2017. He was sentenced to life behind bars and was ineligible for parole for 17 years. Following a successful appeal, McKay pleaded guilty to the same charges last month, meaning he will receive a life sentence again. The Crown is now arguing for 18 years of parole ineligibility. The defense is requesting 12 years. We'll have more coming up tonight at 6. After a fire on Christmas Day destroyed the building, the Prince Albert Salvation Army is getting back up on its feet. The organization has moved to the Union building downtown and says the people who rely on its services have been able to find a new location, and sometimes 70 people will end up using the warming center at night. The Salvation Army says it's been handing out winter clothes and serving about 80 meals daily, and to cover operational costs, there's an upcoming fundraiser dinner.
Some of the replacement of stuff that we need is not cheap. I have already spent, in 1 week, I spent $7,000 on groceries.
Now, that fundraiser, last year's Plates of Hope, it raised $65,000 to cover a brand new professional kitchen, which unfortunately was also lost in that fire. Health Canada Pest Management Regulatory Agency announced that the pesticide strychnine will remain banned for the rest of 2026. Along with the government of Saskatchewan, farming groups are disappointed with this decision of the PMRA. They say that gophers continue to be a huge threat to farmers and their crops.
They're probably a pest on all of the crops. They're particularly bad in lentils and in canola. They seem to favor those, but certainly they'll eat anything that's green. They're also a pest in rangeland. Not only do they eat off the grass, but they also dig the holes, which can be dangerous for livestock.
Connick says this decision could result in a $8 million loss across the province. A Saskatoon man says he was shocked to see his sister's obituary rewritten and reposted to a third-party website without his consent. Matthew Marinelli's sister, C.J. Lepard, died in December. Her obituary honored her life, described as a hard worker and a devoted mother. But Marinelli says a different version of her obituary later appeared on a website called Ecovita, which reposts obituaries and accepts donations to plant trees and light candles. He says the wording was altered and included false information.
It was quite appalling, and then to realize that on this fake obituary, it was stating that she was survived by her husband, but yet her husband had died like 10 years before that.
Marinelli says he reached out to the company asking it to remove the post, which it has since done. A spokesperson with Ecovita told CTV News its goal is to amplify publicly available obituaries to inform the public of a death. All right, let's go to the Weather Center. Sabine joins us for our first look at weather, and the melt is on in Saskatchewan. Sabine?
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, the Parkland is seeing still a little bit of that snow earlier this morning, Lee, but the temperatures have been well above the average. Now, the daytime high for the Yorkton surrounding area is usually about -10, but we've continued to see a warm up late this afternoon. We were close to about 0, and that will continue as we head into this evening, where we're expecting a low of just above 0, and then heading into tomorrow, it's another above zero day. But in terms of much active weather, there you can see first thing this morning we did see some of that snow coming through. But on top of that, we are starting to experience the melt. So this is what we can expect heading into tonight. Again, expecting a low of about 1 degree, which is well above the average, which is still sitting usually around the -20 mark for a low for this time of year. And then tomorrow, expecting a daytime high of +5, mainly sunny conditions, meaning it's just going to keep on melting heading into tomorrow. Wind's not too bad, up to about 45 kilometers an hour tomorrow, but I'll have all the details coming up in your full forecast. Lee?
Thank you, Sabine. With ratio breaker A.J. Allen and C.J. Avery both expected to officially sign elsewhere next week when CFL free agency officially begins, the Riders, well, they're in need of a starting weak side linebacker, and today they announced a deal with former BC Lion Josh Woods.
They're trying to find the right balance here in Hamilton as they play second and long, and this one will be intercepted. Josh Woods to start the second quarter. It's number 2 for 6.
Now, Woods has played all 5 of his CFL seasons in BC. Last season, he had 65 tackles, a quarterback sack, and a fumble recovery. He will likely head into training camp as the projected starter, along with Jameer Thurman at middle linebacker and Antoine Brooks Jr. at strong side linebacker. SJHL tonight, the Yorkton Terriers host the Estevan Bruins at Westland Insurance Arena. Since losing to the Bruins in September, the Terriers have won 5 straight against Estevan. Yorkton is also just 3 points back of Weyburn for first in the Bunkie division with a game in hand. Game time is 7 o'clock. University of Regina Cougar basketball teams returned to the court last night after last weekend's storm delayed their series with the U of S Huskies. The women's team looking to hand the Huskies their first loss of the season. Game back and forth through the first half, with the Cougars actually up 6 heading into the break. They scored 40 points, but the Huskies did respond after halftime. They took a 4-point lead by the end of the third quarter, and a late run would seal the deal. Saskatchewan pulled away 81-69 to sweep the season series, handing the Cougars the loss and clinching first place in the Prairie Conference for the Huskies. Both the men's and women's teams' final games of the regular season are this weekend in Edmonton against the McEwen Griffins. Saskatchewan Rattlers are no more. The Canadian elite basketball teams have been rebranded as the Saskatoon Mamba. It's all part of a new direction, with the team playing in a new venue and having new ownership for the coming season. The Mamba will play 7 of their games at Maris Belcher Place this season and 5 games at SaskTel Centre. New owner Jason Ribeiro says this is not about reinventing the team, it's about reinvigorating the community.
You knew it when you felt it in the room. Something's different. And I think it was equally about charting a new path, introducing a new era, but frankly, with all the, outside of all the smoke and brand and all that good stuff, making real tangible changes in the way that this business, this entity, this cultural vehicle operates in the city of Saskatoon.
Ribeiro, who also owns the rival Calgary Surge, says despite the recent struggles of the team, he's committed to Saskatoon for years to come. And a Regina summer staple is returning to its longtime downtown locations. For 2 seasons, the Regina Farmers Market relocated to Real District. Last fall, the market gathered information about nearby, well, about 1,700 surveys pointing to the downtown location as the clear preferred choice. The market said returning to downtown was always their intention once construction conditions allowed. Before their move to the Real District, the market was held downtown for almost 50 years. Yes, it is getting warmer in the city of Yorkton. We're going to have full details on today, tonight, and the future of weather coming up.
The flags were flying. We did see the winds gusting up to about 40 kilometers an hour late this afternoon. Sun appeared after dealing with a little bit of snowfall earlier in the day today in the Yorkton and surrounding areas. That's a beautiful shot, taking a look through our weather cam there. And then heading into tomorrow, we'll just continue to see more sunshine. Don't expect much in terms of the precipitation that we did see coming through parts of the parkland. That is due to that system that brought that snow through from the northwest of Alberta, and that we were seeing yesterday. We did see some freezing rain warnings very early this morning. Again, that was for the north. And we did see some fog advisories, yellow fog warnings as well. But in terms of what we're dealing with heading into tonight and into the rest of of the week, we don't have to worry about that. We might see a little bit of cloud cover, but it's mostly the temperatures that's the story that you'll be talking about, because we will continue to see above seasonal temperatures. I mentioned we got up to about 0 last I checked, but we're going to continue to see a slight warm up as we head into tonight. Again, that abnormal temperature trend where we're seeing those temperatures get warmer as we head into the overnight, evening into the overnight, and then continuing to see that temperature warm as we head into tomorrow. So heading into tonight, we will see more of that cloud cover clearing up as we head into the evening. There is more cloud cover expected, as you can see, coming in with that system. That is going to bring a little bit of precipitation, but most of it primarily coming through the parkland. Looks like it'll be some rain, possibly some freezing rain. Hudson Bay could see some mixed precipitation first thing in the morning. But again, it's a system that's not expected to leave much when it comes to accumulation. So very trace amounts, I should say, about 1 centimeter, if that, when it comes to precipitation that's coming through the parkland. By tomorrow evening, we'll be left with just cloudier conditions in eastern Saskatchewan. That'll continue throughout the day throughout the night into Thursday night. And then by Friday, we could see the sun reappear. But in terms of your lows tonight, again, the average lows for this time of year, we're still hovering in the -19, -20 range. And this is going to tell you that we're still seeing well above seasonal, above 0 lows tonight. 2 degrees for Humboldt, Watrous, 1 for Wynyard and Melville, -1 for Swan River, 0 for Hudson Bay, and all above seasonal temperatures tomorrow, +5 for Humboldt and Watrous, sunny. Hudson Bay, as we saw on that map, seeing that mixed precipitation, rain and snow, but still above 0 temperatures, 2 for Hudson Bay and Swan River, 4 for Wynyard and Melville. And in Yorkton tonight, we will see a temperature of 1 for the low, winds up to 30, warming up to +5, mainly sunny, winds up to 45 kilometers an hour, similar to what we saw today throughout the day. But here's a look at your next 7 days. So 5 degrees on Thursday. We will see a drop on Friday, dropping to -5, still sitting above seasonal. We will see more cloud cover, but still expecting the sun to peek out on Friday. But as the weekend arrives, mainly sunny conditions, bumping up above 0 to 2 degrees for Saturday and Sunday. Monday, some snow arrives. -1 is the expected high. But even into Tuesday, -4, Wednesday, -3, we're still sitting above the average daytime high for this time of year.
Up next, Minister and MLA Warren Keating will be joining us to give us an update about his work. Stay with us to learn more.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization? Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-786-8444 or email yorktonnews@bellmedia.ca. You can appear on CTV Yorkton's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
Our community brought to you by Key Auto Group. Experience clear and simple car buying online all the time.
Welcome back. My guest today is MLA Warren Keating, and we are going to be talking about the latest news that come out of the legend from you. Hello, and thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, thank you for your interest.
So, what is new?
Well, I would say in our constituency, Melville Saltcoats, we're seeing a lot of interest now in business expansion. Now, these aren't going to be big multi-billion-dollar projects, but they're all significant expansions that we're seeing. I'd say folks are now starting to get their confidence back in the business in the area, and now they're willing to make that investment to expand and improve their business. So that's always exciting when you see capital flowing into the area.
So when you're saying getting their confidence back, what are you referring to? Are you referring to the recent tariffs or perhaps the pandemic?
I would say all of the above. There's been a lot of uncertainty in the business world, and it's a matter of how was it explained the other day? You're either on the menu or you're the one that's doing the work out there. And these folks, these businesses now are the ones that want to start expanding their business and looking at all the opportunities that are coming their way. And there are a lot that are happening here in Saskatchewan today.
Sounds good, but is it specific to your area, or more of a, are you talking about more of a provincial term?
I would say certainly in our area, because of all the great things that are happening here, from the mines expansions in Mosaic and Nutrien, to what you see here in Yorkton with the ag value-added businesses that are all expanding here, to possibly even some new developments that may be coming into the area. So all of those is really showing confidence in the area and confidence in the industries that we do such a good job of developing here.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we are talking about businesses, we also have to talk about infrastructure. So did you bring any news regarding infrastructure?
Well, I would say we've got 2 new daycares that are going to be opening. One opening very soon in Esterhazy, and one that's actually going through kind of the early construction phase in Melville, and that's always exciting. And having a need for daycare just shows there's lots of young families in the area, and we certainly know and recognize that there's a need for more daycare spaces. So having 2 new ones develop in the area is certainly very, very positive news. And I would say, as infrastructure, you need to travel, you need to work on highways, and we're seeing a lot of investment in the area on highways. We're going to see the passing lanes develop now between Melville and Fort Capel, and we've talked about the safety and security of needing those lanes there. We're also going to see complete resurfacing, from what I understand, between Russell and Churchbridge, and we're also seeing a move towards resurfacing Highway 247 around that Crooked Lake, Round Lake area. So those are all exciting developments as well.
Absolutely. So it seems like, though, these are already set in motion. So are you working on planning something new as well, perhaps?
I would say we're always trying to look for new opportunities, and certainly as Minister of Trade and Export Development, and I know working with Ministry of Energy and Resources, we've got all kinds of incentives to attract new businesses and new opportunities to the area. I think just the other day you heard about this huge alumina find in the Tisdale area, and that's going to provide benefits literally all across the province. From the service sector to manufacturing, I would say everyone is going to have an opportunity to participate in all these new investments that are happening in the province. And I would say our businesses in this area are certainly going to be able to benefit as well.
That's very positive, and it looks like things are looking up. So do you foresee any kind of stormy clouds, any challenges along the way?
Well, certainly the challenges we're hearing is about having and attracting a skilled workforce. We've got over $16 billion in capital investment coming into the province, and these are pretty significant projects, and they're all going to be requiring a lot of skilled workforce to build and develop these projects and then to operate these projects. So a few months ago, we had Mosaic make a big announcement on supporting the Millwright program in Good Spirit School Division. It's located in Churchbridge, and as well investing significantly with Suncrest College in building up the skilled trade center there. And I would say it's companies like Mosaic that recognize that they need to be participating in developing that skilled workforce. And I know we're going to see that across pretty well across the entire business sector, is they're going to be participating very willingly in those spaces to make sure they've got enough people and the right people to be operating their businesses.
That sounds like a plan. Well, thank you so much, Emily Keating, for joining us today and sharing all these wonderful news, and I hope to see you soon.
I hope so as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
First day, I actually bought a backpack and brought it to the meeting, and my book wouldn't fit inside it, so it's a pretty big playbook.
That's Davis Sanchez speaking to CTV Saskatoon's Jeff Rogstad at San Diego Chargers training camp in 2001. Rogstad happened to be in California, and Chargers camp, featuring some well-known former CFLers, was also going on too. So he strolled down there and got us this rare footage. This is Doug Flutie getting in some reps at practice, as well as current Stampeders head coach Dave Dickinson, who said it was not a huge adjustment to being a quarterback in the NFL.
You know, it's just you got to get up to speed, you got to take care of your own business, but in training camp you're trying to learn, you're trying to get through it and peak for the games, and I think that's the same in the CFL or the NFL.
This was at a time when CFL quarterbacks were shining down south, but Doug Flutie never forgot about his career roots in Canada.
I think it's fun. Well, you know, what's going to be fun is first exhibition game we play San Francisco, have Jeff Garcia, Dave, and I together. I think we all got to get Stampeder hats and get in uni and take a shot together. I think it says a lot for the CFL.
The CFL shining bright under the San Diego sun. And if you want to check out more classic sports moments from the days of Wilco and wood finish televisions, you can check them out on our website.
Saskatoon paramedics have voted in favor of strike action. The Saskatoon Paramedic Association, which represents paramedics and emergency medical dispatchers with Medivie Health Services West, says members voted 100% in favor of strike action yesterday. The association says employees have been without a contract for 2 years and are facing a growing staff shortage combined with high call volumes and a need for better mental health supports for the frontline workers. The Saskatoon Paramedic Association says although members have voted to strike, dispatchers and paramedics will continue to do their jobs, but it will consider its next steps to pursue job action.
It is very hard to walk into those houses and look someone in the eye that has been waiting for an ambulance for multiple hours. It hurts us. It morally hurts us to be exposed to that on the daily basis. And people are starting to realize that. Like, we have a number of staff on mental health leaves, various medical leaves, like an unprecedented number, I would say.
Medivie Health Services West says it's aware of the labor discussions and wants to reassure the community there are no changes to 911 and that people should still use the service in an emergency. Finally, a new superhero created right here in Saskatchewan. This is Skybreaker. He's found as a baby, abandoned in a prairie field, grows up discovering his powers. The story, described as Smallville meets Ted Lasso, is written by Steve Boyd, who moved to Saskatoon from Tennessee in 2017. Skybreaker is more than a story about a superhero. It's Boyd's love letter to Canada. The comic includes subtle nods from Skybreaker wearing a Tragically Hip t-shirt to mentions of Métis culture. But Boyd intentionally avoids the obvious Canadian stereotypes, no mention of moose or maple syrup.
I want it to be a window to living in Canada because my experience is, and I can only speak for myself, but I feel like Canadians know a ton about the U.S., but Americans know criminally little about Canada. I want the book to act as kind of a bridge.
Boyd says his dream is to have a publisher pick up the comic. That's all the time I have for your 5 o'clock news. We'll be back at 6 o'clock with your local headlines, but for now, get yourself ready for national news.